Good afternoon, HMS Bobcats. Mr. Flato here. Welcome back. The sun is coming out. I'm hoping it's going to be a great week. Supposed to be great weather this week. This week's Bob lesson was kind of getting to the end of my curriculum and found this Bob lesson I did 2 years ago called Doing the Right Thing. And it was like it was meant to be because this week for 6th and 7th grade is Service Day. And this is the first time, I believe, in your guys' middle school careers, I'm almost positive, that we have done Service Day because Service Day got interrupted there a few years with the pandemic. And other factors. What is Service Day? Service Day is going out, taking a day, morning or an afternoon, and going out and doing community service in our community. Community service is something that is extremely important at all ages. Just this Saturday, I volunteered for the Don't Fence Me In race, saw a handful of our HMS Bobcats running, giving back, doing something for the greater good of your community, doing something for the greater good of other people. Very important thing in life. You can find all sorts of ways to do community service. If you start looking around, there's always people and organizations that need help. Part of community service and Service Day is creating a positive impact on your environment and creating a positive impact on the culture around us. We are all influenced and affected either negatively or positively by the environment or the culture around us. And a lot of times, whether that's negative or positive, really stems from groups of individuals and people and what kind of environment and culture they want to create when we're going around and cleaning things up and fixing things and moving things and planting trees and doing all the wonderful activities that we have planned. It may not seem like a lot, but when those things start adding up, it has a positive impact on our environment, positive impact on our culture, positive impact on everyone around you. The last thing I want to talk about is how this can help with our mental health. It's been proven, data has proven that a lot of times when you're not feeling great, you're not feeling your best, by doing something positive for somebody else, doing something helping others, community service, it helps you feel better about yourself and your situation in life. So lots of positive things. This Bob lesson is going to show some examples of some Bobcats, I believe, our current 8th grade Bobcats when they were 6th graders. I saw a few of them in the picture. Student council, some different things that some of our former students have done a couple of years ago where things started coming together, did a Bob lesson on it, making the right choice, doing the right thing. A lot of times in life we have a choice to make. Do we want to do the right thing or the wrong thing? And with Bob Positives, we always try to reward doing the right thing, doing the positive thing. Lots of opportunities every day to make the right decision or not make the right decision. Obviously, making the right decision every time is where we want our young people and people of all ages to be. So you will see some older examples in this Bob video, but the message is just the same. Hope everybody has a great week. Hope everybody has a great service day. All right, Bobcats, we are off and running on this week's Bob lesson. I decided to title this one Doing the Right Thing. I think by middle school, we're all at the age where we know right from wrong. We know when opportunities present themselves to do the right thing, be selfless, help somebody else out. And we also know when we have the opportunity to make decisions to be selfish and do the wrong thing. And really, it's a choice that we all have to make at different points in our lives. And what I'm going to go over today was some students doing the right things and doing some really awesome things. But first, before we get going, let's be our best this short week at HMS. Let's be safe. Let's be responsible. Let's be respectful. Let's be a learner. First example I'd like to give, this story goes back a couple of years ago when somebody in our community graffitied some of the sidewalks outside of our building, and the crews you can see in the lower picture, there was somebody graffitied some person, and our custodial staff tried and could not get it to come up. And it was kind of an eyesore when we would have community members walk by. When you were walking by, the Lazy Green is an extension of HMS, and it's a part of representation of HMS. And Miss Cook, shout out Miss Cook, and some of her student council kids came up with a very creative solution to paint over it, and to paint over it with the be safe, be responsible, be respectful, be a learner.
and you see some of our student council students out here. Shout out all of our awesome student council kids from this fall that painted over it and decorated it up and took a negative situation and turned it into a positive, where it added to our positive culture of our school and our environment and our property out here. And I just thought this was the coolest thing. I've seen a lot of amazing and cool things in my 7 years at HMS, but I thought this was really awesome. These kids in student council, it's selfless. They did it on their own time. They did a great job doing it. Just an example of our kids doing the right things and representing HMS to the fullest. Kudos to Miss Cook and the student council kids. Another example of our HMS Bobcats just doing awesome, selfless things to help in the community is Mr. Blaz's group. Shout out Mr. Blaz. He has a group of students every fall that rake up leaves in the neighborhood around HMS to give back to our neighbors. Again, these are students that dedicate their time after school. It's one day during the school year, and rumor on the street is that there's a greenhouse right there who gives cookies to students that help out. And I cannot confirm or deny whether that is my mom that does that. But so moving forward, if you'd like to be a part of Mr. Blaz's group of picking up leaves, um, that would be awesome. And just again, another great example of our students doing things for others, helping others, and being selfless. Keep up the great work, kids. One of my favorite acts of kindness was last spring when a group of students all met at Mount Helena, and the H that many of you can see on Mount Helena, there was some students that went up and vandalized it and got it all out of sorts. And we had a group of HMS students and staff go up and put the rocks back in the right formation to make the letter H, spray painted it, put all the rocks back together. This was another really cool, selfless act for the community that HMS was well represented. Something again that just happened recently was some student council students created this tree that they donated to the Intermountain Festival of Trees, and they were able to help Intermountain raise $200 in a silent auction that was held earlier this month. And then that money goes towards helping students and young people in our community. Just yet another awesome example of selflessness and doing things above and beyond themselves to help others. Great work, kids. And our last example, but definitely not least, was an email that Mr. Boyle and Ms. Rowling received from a community member that lives somewhat close by to HMS. And I'm just going to read the email. The subject line was praise for students, and it said, "Good evening, Principal Boyle and Principal Rowling and Boyle. My name is Katie. I live on the corner of 9th Avenue and another cross street. And on their walk home from school today, a group of students noticed my dog, Penny, had gotten into a package that was delivered and eating its contents. The package was a ton of chocolates. And for those of you that are pet owners, you know chocolate is very, very, very bad for dogs. They were so kind to intervene, pick up all the packaging strewn about the yard, throw it all away in the garbage, leave a note, and knock on a neighbor's door to let someone know. My neighbor got in touch with me right away to let me know. Your students were wonderful and did everything right to mitigate what could have been a terrible situation. My family really appreciates them. Hope you're able to pass along our gratitude to those who helped. I should note, many of these kids stop on their way to and from school to give our dog pats on their head. They are the highlight of her day. Happy holidays." And this was just an awesome example of, again, students that had a choice to make. They saw a situation that was unsafe. It was a selfless decision that they made. They went the extra mile to do the right thing, not only for Penny the dog, but for the dog owner. And when we have students out in the community just doing these things and representing our school and our community and our family here at HMS in the right way, I just cannot explain how proud I am of our students, how proud all of the adults are of our students. And we still don't know who this was. So if this was you, please shoot me a message so we can figure out who it is. And I got something brainstormed for you. Thanks again, students.
All right, let's give away some jelly beans. This week's winners: Justin Trainer, Addie Russell, Paige Weedle, Caden Chris, Annalise Wade. What starts with a T, ends with a T, and has T in it? That'd be a teapot, of course. All right, let's see how some of you are at your mathematics. This week's Jelly Bean question of the week. How many letters are there in the alphabet? If you think you know the answer, submit your answer to the Bob box. Make sure your name's on it. Every week I pull out correct answers, but no names, and so I got to move on to the other correct answers. Tune in next week. All right, Bobcats, let's make it a great week at the Helena Middle School.